Good morning, everybody. Angel here from Angebar. Today's reading, I've been reading and kind of dwelling on for the past couple of days with my small group and then with Mass and everything. And I heard a couple different homilies, and something touched me today that I just wanted to share with you quickly. The story is about the Pharisees that bring a woman who has committed adultery in front of Jesus, and it says that Moses tells us to stone her to death. And they want to know what Jesus's take is on that and what his view is to try to get him to say something that they can use against him later. And Jesus is actually writing in the sand because he's at the temple trying to teach when they bring her to him. And he basically sees her and hears them, and he bends back down and starts writing. And the big question has always been, what is Jesus writing in the sand? But that's a whole nother story, because I don't know what that is, and I don't know if anybody does, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, he starts writing again, and they keep persisting. What should we do? And he stands up, and he basically says, okay, this is paraphrasing, obviously. Basically says to them, whoever has never sinned, you go ahead and you can start stoning her, because obviously if you've not sinned and she has, she's, worthy of being stoned. And of course, the elders start dropping their stones and turning and walking away, and they leave. And when he comes up again, after writing in the sand, he looks around and nobody's around, and he says to the woman, where is everybody? And she's like, they've all left. And he said, well, no one's condemned you? And she said, no. And he says, well, I don't condemn you either, and go forth and sin no more. There's so much that's said in those words in the context of, we don't know what her life was or what she may have been doing. We don't know, was she a prostitute? That was her only way of making money. And for her to have to go forth and sin no more and not do that anymore, she has to turn and change her ways. Sometimes we need to stop and look at that ourselves. We need to change what we're doing to move forward in God's glory and doing his will and his love for other people. And that's not always easy. We are all sinners. I'm a sinner, and I know that having to turn around and change the way I've done something to be more in line with the way that Christ wants me to be can be a challenge. I was very excited to say that something had occurred to me last week, and I wanted to share this little thought with you because I think it would be helpful if I had learned this 20, 30 years ago. So I was talking amongst colleague and referring to some conversations of trainings and things that we've been going through with higher management and my local co-workers. There's a little bit of different viewpoints that are coming out, but we haven't had a chance to actually sit down and, what they say, hash everything out to come up with a scheme and a means to move forward that's in connection to do what the purpose of what it is we're trying to do in a way that makes sense for everybody. So when I was talking with this individual, I wanted to express the presentation and thought process of another person in the company, but I didn't want to degrade them and make them sound like they're an idiot, because that's not true. They're very smart and they have a very valid aspect and point of view. But I also wanted to convey the viewpoint that we, as some of the co-workers, have, and how we would like to address it, and our perspective and our thoughts on it, and make it more of a collaborative effort to make sure that we are all moving in the right direction together for the right purposes, which we all want. In doing so, I was thinking about the way I normally would talk, and I tend to get very animated and excited, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the way we need to do this, and I'm trying to, hammer in my ideas and thoughts, and I didn't go down that road, because the one thing that occurred to me was, Angel, when you're talking about these things, imagine the people that you are talking about, not in a bad way, but presenting their ideas as how you understood them. Imagine them sitting right there next to you, and what you're saying, they're right there to hear and to comment on. But somebody reminded me, don't think of just them sitting in the room. Think of Jesus sitting on the other side as well. And make sure that what you're saying is something that you are doing as Jesus would do, and at the same time you are honoring and accepting and cherishing what the other person's views and thoughts may be when you're presenting your side of things. It really takes the edge off of a lot of things. It makes it a much more smoother smoother coalition to bring together the points that are trying to be made. And it's something that normally, you know, in the past, I would never even stop to think. You know, I would just start talking. So I challenge you to think about this. Next time you are thinking about somebody or something that was said or done, imagine them standing right next to you as you are portraying information that may have occurred previously. And it makes you stop and think, you know what, this is a good person. I don't want to bash them for any reason. I may disagree with them on something, but it doesn't mean that you have to portray them in a negative way. How would you like to be standing there and listening to somebody else talk about a situation that you may have voiced an opinion and they are bashing you to somebody else? Nobody wants that. We don't want that for ourselves, and we should treat others the way we want to be treated, right? So I just think that all of that in relation to the way Jesus lets this adulteress to let go and move on and to live a better life basically is a message to us. Let go of the past and present yourself in a way that is respectful and in a good light when you're talking about and bringing others together, and help mend the differences that we have instead of hashing them and talking badly about them in some way. I know that was a lot of stuff coming and going. I'm just sitting in the parking lot here from church, and I felt a calling to mention that because I think it's important. I think it really puts a different perspective on the way that we talk to others. And it makes life easier, not just for us, but for the people around us and the people that we work with and the people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, whether it's family, friends, neighbors, workers, and just something to think about. I think it'll make life easier in a lot of ways. And like I said, I wish I had known that thought process 30 years ago. Maybe I wouldn't have always jumped off the handle and started screaming at things, but that's a little bit of excitement in me. Anyway, I wish you all a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday and cherish the rest of the week that's coming up. I know that we will be moving into Palm Sunday next weekend, and then of course Holy Week. So be sure to keep God in your thoughts and in your prayers. And I wish you all a great day. Listen, remember to smile. Say hello to a neighbor. Hold a door open. You never know. You can help somebody, and it might just change their day. You know, it could even change their life. Take care, everybody. I'll talk to you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.